Hello, friends. My name is Manpreet Singh. I'm the president of Indian Chamber of International Business from India. We are present in 42 countries globally and 14 states within India. I would like to say a very good evening to the chairman of ASTRIAD and at the headquarters, Mr. Jamil Yildiz, the president of ASTRIAD, from the Kushali branch, Mr. Nihad Yildirim, and the esteemed members of the board and all the distinguished participants. I would like to also thank Mr. Nihat Kilish, the International Affairs President at the Association of the Koshali branch, very much for this kind invitation and to be present here and to address all of you today. Also, I would like to inform all of you, my good friend Nihat Kilish is also our representative of ICIB, the Indian Chamber of International Business in Turkey. And with this, a very warm welcome once again, and it's a pleasure to be with you. India and Turkey have a very special relation, which is not new but centuries old, and it is very important for all of us to realize this. In fact, ICIB has been working with Turkey since more than 20 years. I think since the beginning of our organization. And personally, in our business, I think nearly 4 decades that we have been working with Turkey. So it's a very long and stable relation between both countries and with our organization and Turkey. It is a pleasure and honor to address all of you and to explain to you the current opportunities and the promising business opportunities that we have between both countries. This is a relation of mutual cooperation, and the growth possibilities are still unlimited. Of course, there are some ups and downs, hiccups, but when you look at centuries of relations, sometimes ups and downs become part of it. But it is also important to understand that businesses will always find a way, irrespective of what the geopolitical situation is. I think friends like you and me need to come together and to ensure that business survives, and not only survives, but also it grows. When I talk about the relation between both the countries, for 25-26, the year, I think the average bilateral trade between both countries is $5 billion, even today. So this is very promising and it is very interesting, and it is for you and me to think how we can grow this. Out of this 5 billion, I think 3 billion is India's exports to Turkey, and the 2 billion that Turkey exports to India. So it has a huge possibility of bilateral growth that is possible. Not only that, I advise since the beginning to all the Indian companies that Turkey is a gateway to Europe and the Middle East. It is very important. And today's times also to Central Asia. So if we treat Turkey not as a small market, but as a gateway to all of this and vice versa, I think that is what is needed. When you have it as a roadmap of cooperation, of support, and of mutual growth. Well, India exports mainly engineering goods and items, chemicals, vehicles, and all the textiles. This has been the major exports from India to Turkey. On the other side, I think Turkey exports marble, granite, chemicals, machinery, appliances. These are the things that are coming from Turkey to India. But that being said, Turkey has a long history of brands. The Turkish brands are known very well in many European and other countries today. It is now time to bring these brands to the Indian market and to explain that this is what quality is all about. You get European quality at Indian prices. I think that's how I would put brands from Turkey. And the awareness, the cultural cooperation, the similarities between family values is very important. When we also understand that it's not just trade and business, but also culture, education, investments, the whole basket of cooperation between both countries. When I talk about investments, the Turkey's investments into India are very high. In fact, there are some infrastructure projects that Turkey has been part of in India since many years, including metro projects, drilling, tunneling, bridges. Of course, there are some challenges, as you must have seen. in recent times. But I think these are all temporary hiccups, and they can definitely be overcome. And other way around, I think the Turkish companies are present in India for sure. There are so many Indian companies that operate in Turkey. And that is what is important. It is a mutual relationship. When we talk about possible cooperation, machinery, mechanical engineering, appliances, vehicle components, auto components, drone sector, space sector, these are the new technologies where we can both work with each other under initiatives like Make in India, and initiatives like taking the Turkish companies global through India. So there are many such possibilities. Then we can work together and create this vision. And that is what is most important. With this, I would like to thank all of you once again for giving me this opportunity and ensuring that we have a long route ahead, and we take this route and we ensure that it takes to the next level. Not only that, when we talk about cooperation and the friendship between both the countries, of course, leaving geopolitics aside, because business is business at the end of the day. ICIB has been working with the support of the Trade Office of Turkey in Mumbai, the embassy and the consulate in Delhi and Mumbai, and we have been working a lot. In fact, there was a time, I think up to COVID or till COVID, that I used to consider Turkey as my second home. I used to travel there multiple times every month for business, for business engagements, business forums, and we used to invite so many Turkish companies to come to India for part of the same. And I think it is this engagement that should continue and should expand, and it should grow. With friends like you and me, this is what is important, and this is what we should take more initiative and balance. I think the possibilities for further exports from Turkey to India, which is already there, but which can be done much more, is fresh apples, of course. Chemicals like carbonates, peroxycarbonates, seed oils, of course. Oils, Turkey is very well known for their oils. Scrap metals like steel scrap, marble, of course, we are doing very well. We are importing a lot from Turkey. And, from India, we can export mineral fuels. And as I said, motor vehicle parts, aluminium, smartphones. India has become a big manufacturer of smartphones now. And I think that is something that we can go. Textiles and fibers is definitely what we are doing since centuries, and we can increase this much more. And in fact, between both the countries, we have the Joint Economic Mission also, which is the Turkey-India Joint Economic and Technical Cooperation. I think nearly a lot of meetings have been held so far, and this agreement is not new. It was signed in the year 1978. That is how old the relations between both countries are, and I think this is what we need to take ahead. And with this, I would like to thank all of you at ASEAN headquarters for inviting me today, for being present here, for talking to you, and being present between all of you. Thank you once again, and a big thank you to a good friend of mine, Nihat, for giving me this opportunity. Thank you so much.